I'm gonna give you each one more minute, and then I'm gonna give you each one more minute, and then we're gonna move, believe it or not, into closing statements, because we are actually coming to the end.
Great.
So, Tom, one more minute.
I'm not, those of you that know me well know that I'm not big on sound bites. I'm a teacher. I've taught college classes. I like to explain why I have the positions I feel I have. But let me give you one soundbite. Our state tax revenue declines by $4 billion. If you want the same services in our towns, then your property taxes are going to skyrocket. There's no way around that. And I would cede the balance of my time to Joe if he can tell me how to get around that. Thank you, Joe.
Joe, you have a minute.
I'm going to just start by going and saying, yet again, you've skirted it. You have not said anything about reform to state government. You haven't said anything about consolidating the licensing procedure. I mean, there's numerous ways that we can go about cutting this fat out of the budget. And yes, you know, it is going to be tough, and we've all had to tighten our belts. And, you know, if the state government has to tighten its belt, then I'm going to say we need to go ahead and do that.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. And this brings us now to the last part of this. I was hoping that we might have time for questions from the audience, but we are being broadcast live, so we will not have time for that. So I'm going to go right to the last part of the program. And before I go to the closing statements of the two candidates, I first would like to commend the audience. You have been an amazing audience tonight. You've done a wonderful job listening, allowing this discourse to take place, which is great for people who are watching at home. So everybody has really been able to get a clear view of where the candidates stand on the issues. So I want to thank the audience. You've been wonderful. And I also want to thank my colleagues on the Kingston Public Library Foundation for being here tonight and holding up the timers and keeping us on track. And my final thank you, not my final, but I want to thank PAC TV and WATD for broadcasting our program tonight. And I want to also thank the two candidates. You gentlemen have been wonderful. It's been a pleasure to sit here with both of you and listen. So now we're going to go to the final statements, and I'm going to give you each 3 minutes so you don't have to take a really deep breath. And we're going to start with Joe. Joe?
Well, again, I'm Joe Truschelli, and thank you all for showing up. Thank you to PAC TV, WATD, and a special thanks to the Kingston Public Library Foundation for hosting us tonight. And thank you for moderating. You know, again, this campaign for me, this all started a long time ago with my public service to the military, me going overseas and fighting for this country. And when I came home, I said, something's not right. It's gone off track. And my wife, since I've settled down and I have my wife in the back, my two boys, a house, I see what I feel is a misappropriation of taxpayer dollars. And I can't sit idly by and watch it go away on us. I'm going to tell you, my objective has been clear. Just like I said at the beginning of this, we need to protect from government waste, corruption, and a one-party system that's ruled this state for far too long. We need balance on Beacon Hill. I want to be, right now we only have 15 Republican leaders on Beacon Hill. Barely enough to force a roll call vote. You want to talk about transparency. If we lose any of those Republican leaders and don't gain, we're not going to be able to see what happens on Beacon Hill. It'll be yays and nays, and you won't see it on public record. Send me to Beacon Hill, because I'm going to be the one that makes sure that those roll call votes are taken. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, and now we go to Tom. Tom?
Thank you, Fran, and thank you to the Library Foundation for having us here this evening. And Joe, I want to thank you as well for running and for your service to our country. You are a gentleman. I've appreciated the debates we've had. We've had over $3 billion in cuts in the past 4 years. $3 billion in cuts. We've had those cuts. They've come out of pension, education reform, transportation reform, the consolidation of 30 economic affairs agencies. There have been cuts in every line item: social services, developmental disability services, group homes, addiction services, services for veterans, services for council on aging, services everywhere you look. We've cut over $3 billion. Some of it was waste, and I'm glad we cut it. And perhaps there's more to go through reform, like the 29 campus state college system, a pet peeve of mine, something I hope to reform in the next legislative session. But keep in mind that this election is not just about where we're going. It's about who we are as a Commonwealth and what's important to us. We're first in so many areas: environmental technology, healthcare, senior services, veterans agents in every single town in the Commonwealth, the only state in the country that can say that. That says a lot, folks, about who we are and what's important to us. That's why we're a Commonwealth. One of only 4 Commonwealths in the entire nation. One of only 4 states structured as a Commonwealth. That's important to me. It's the reason we have done so well for so long in so many areas, and it's the reason the rest of the country looks to us. So when I say this next election is about who we are, this next election threatens the very culture of this Commonwealth. Daniel Patrick Moynihan once said that the culture of a state defines who that state is and what greatness they have the potential to achieve. I think we're at that crossroads right now. I think any decision we make could affect education, which will affect our future. In closing, Joe talks about balance on Beacon Hill. I don't think we need more Democrats. I don't think we need more Republicans. We need people of character, people that will make the bold, tough, courageous decisions without any respect to party. I've done that. I voted against my own speaker, one of only 7. I voted against the temporary appointment for U.S. Senator because I thought it was bad government. I voted against the increase in the sales tax. I thought it was bad timing and that more reform was needed before we increased any taxes. I'm proud of my record. I'll stand on my record. I'll talk about it with anybody that wants to discuss it. But I'll be 15 seconds. I'll work very hard against any cuts to our veterans, our seniors, and our children. Thank you very much. I ask for your vote on November 2nd.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the people of Kingston. Thank you to Joe and Tom, who are behind me. And everyone, have a wonderful night. And please, whatever you are doing on that Tuesday in November, go and vote. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Yeah.
No.
Guys, great job. I know that.
We've always done so. Well, nobody dared cross you.